Hello, hello, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? Oh shoot, I gotta turn myself down. It's so loud. I was gonna have a bounce back there. How is everyone doing today? Martin, what's up, brother? How are you doing? Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Sir Yosho, what up, go? You're the go, dude. Thanks for being here, dude. Where am I? Am I here? Yo, what's up? How you guys doing? My area is an absolute mess, but I wanted to start building a new Dark Magician. And so, wait, why is this like this? Come on, man. I gotta see my chat. I gotta see my homies. There it is. All right, sick. We got it. We're game. We're game. Oh, everything's moving. Everything's breaking. My goodness. I'm the worst streamer on the planet. I can't do this. This is why I can't do this full time. Stress myself out. Stress you guys out. Flattered Silence. My goat is finally streaming again. We'll see. I don't know if you call this streaming. This is more like just hanging out. We have a plan. We have an agenda for this stream. So I'm happy you're here. Hopefully you stick around. Greetings from Argentina. Dude, greetings from Toronto. Glad you're here, Martin. Thank you for... Dude, that's hype, dude. The fact that we have reach all the way in other countries like that, that's huge. Amaris. All right, man, let me tell you something. I'll tell you what, man. Let me ask you something. All right, what are we talking about? Let's go, Amaris. What are we talking about, brother? David, greetings from France. Dude, David, thank you. I love France. I got engaged in France. Went to Paris. Only Paris. But it was a good time. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today I've summoned you guys. Mazel tov. I have summoned you guys. Frank Castle, Punisher actor. True. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I haven't seen the Punisher. I know he's in the new Spider-Man. I really want to see that. I still haven't. No spoilers, please. Yeah, the reason why I summoned everyone here today is because we have proxies. And let me flex these. That's his catchphrase. True. That's actually kind of cool. Let's see. The reason I summoned everyone here today is because I have proxies, and because YCS Montreal is over, I think it's time we start building and we start testing for the new Dark Magician cards. I know Paladin's not coming out in a long time, for a long time, but who knows? But we're gonna test with him. We're gonna add him to the conversation. Plus, I think people are excited for this card, and quite frankly, I think we could use the clicks, right? You're already on an international level. Let's go for the solar system. True. Yeah. You know, in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, what's the saying? Kaiba said, like, if there's life out there, we should teach them how to duel. God knows an alien needs to know Dark Magician combos, right? God knows. I wish Paladin was coming out. Dude, same. This card is crazy. This card answers so many questions that we're actually going to be talking about in this stream. And so the reason why I've summoned everyone here is because I'm at a standstill. I do not know for the life of me what direction I want to take Dark Magician in. And so what's going to happen is today we are going to build what I think is going to be the starting position for Dark Magician as a deck going forward, and we're gonna see where everything goes. We're gonna be talking about different engines I want to use. Although like pure, that's gonna be a conversation for when these cards come out. Obviously, I think pure is gonna be super fun to play. And but I want to build the most competitive list possible. I do want to engage in more higher tiered tournaments. I'm talking more regionals, more case events, things like this. I felt like there has been a pretty significant standstill as far as my results have been coming and my play and participation at locals in these tournaments. So I really want to get back into that. And when Feral Servant comes out, I want to build the best possible deck for it. So we have a lot of questions to answer. We have a lot of questions to ask. But what I want to do is start off with asking questions. Do you think DM would be better with the Chaos cards competitively? I don't think so. I don't think so. There is a reason for this, and the Chaos cards isn't an engine the Chaos cards are good. It's not an engine I'm going to be approaching, at least early on, at least for now. Pure is for locals, but if you're gonna brew for the tier 2, tier 3, yeah, but you've got to get yeah, exactly. You've got to get a brew for the tier 2, tier 3 events. Absolutely. Yeah, so as far as the Chaos stuff goes, I don't think the Chaos cards, they're good. The problem with the Chaos cards is that they don't answer the problems that Dark Magician has. Chaos as an archetype in itself focuses on the ability to recur cards, sit on boss monsters, and grind the game out, controlling the game, right? DM already does that. DM has so many cards that already do that. We have a Blackluster Soldier at home in the form of Magi Dragon. It's obviously not as tower-like, but the card is in similar capacities the same approach to the game. We have cards like Demod that is similar to the Dark Magician of the Demok ritual card in terms of grabbing a spell and continuing there. The Dark Magician engine in itself already has a lot of the same answers and approaches to the game as Rolad. So, and for that reason alone, I don't think Rolad answers the problems that DM has. And so, Matchy, my man, dude, how you doing, Neo? Hope you're good, brother. Thank you for stopping by. And so for that reason, I have an approach on how I want to start building the list. I would love for input and things like that. And one by one, we'll go through it. I have the two engines I do want to discuss because I do think that these two engines specifically do answer those questions. So right away, I want to start with talking about the idea, the actual Dark Magician engine per se. What I've established so far in my very limited testing, which I think is the area we're going to start in, is we're going to be talking about one Dark Magician, three Magician's Rod, one, potentially more than one Illusion of Chaos. I really like the idea of playing Illusion of Chaos at 3 now, simply for the fact that it is now a 1-card starter. Even more so, I like the idea of playing something like Preparation of Rites. So for that reason, I will actually, for DM post mono, my main thing is that I would love to maximize Pharaoh Servant, but he needs consistent spell access. So honestly, a Breaker DM Azamina Primite might feel good. I think a good competitive could compromise with Chaos, maybe splash a Magician of Black Chaos. The Ritual and the Skull alone can foolish any card mid combo, enables 2 bodies in the spell recycle. Yeah, like, I mean, I think that's fine. My only issue with that is we're adding, I don't want to say bricks because bricks isn't the word. Low power starters, I think, is more of the word I'm looking for. Low power starters in addition to some bricks. It's a conversation. I think for now, until these cards come out and until we see how everything establishes, I'm not too locked in on Rolad as a deck yet, but it is something I'm not gonna what's it called, like toss it aside and say I'm never playing it, because that's not the case. It's just for now, if I want to play in the best competitive environment, I've really analyzed what the deck's problems are, and I want to find solutions to fix them. How do you feel about Delta Gamma in the main post-current? Dude, I love Gamma. Gamma is like my favorite hand trap of all time. If we're playing Primite, 100%. I don't know if I want to play another vanilla. Torch, brother. Come on. It's 2 a.m. for me. Dude, Torch, go to sleep. You don't have school tomorrow anyways. What are you complaining about? You're chilling, brother. Thanks for coming in, Torch. Happy you're here, brother. Torch is a demon, ladies and gentlemen. A demon. I love the kid. So right now, a big question mark is how many copies of Illusion of Chaos we're going to be playing and how many copies of Preparation of Rites we're going to be playing. One Magician Souls, this card's going to be banned. So whatever. This is kind of an irrelevant discussion at this point. I'm at locals to practice for the OTS tomorrow. Dude, what are you complaining then for? If you're 2 a.m. and you're up already, go grind your games. Thanks for stopping in though. One copy of Magician Souls. Believe it or not, people are calling for this card to be banned, and like I'm for it. Do you still think Preps makes the cut? Prep's a spell card that you reveal off Pharaoh Servant. Prep's a 1-card starter now. Prep grabs access to Illusion of Chaos, which grabs access to Rod. It's a free discard if you already open the Illusion of Chaos. Like, Prep's okay. I think a ratio that I'm kind of interested in exploring is something like 2 Preps, 1 Illusion of Chaos, or 2 Illusion of Chaos and 1 Preps. If your build can turn Rod into 6+ high quality disruptions, and it should easily with the new support, then more IOC is solid. Yeah, in Yummy DM, Rod is 10+. Yeah, dude, I mean, Francis, and I know Aqua right now is a close friend of mine. They've been grinding Yummy DM, and it's good. Yummy DM is very, very strong. The only problem with Yummy DM is I don't have the cards yet, so I haven't been able to test them properly and have them in my hands. So we're not gonna be talking about Yummy DM today. I will be talking about it in the future. Yummy DM is crazy. It's in a very good position. 3 Prep and let it ride. Jose, what's up, brother? We'll play 2 copies of Gaze of Timaeus. Obviously. The field spell package. 1 Salvation, 1 Eternal Soul, 1 Village. Big question mark is, I think, so this card at the YCS, this card testing up until now has been so horrendous. I have hated this card so much. And the problem with Soul Servant is if they ban Magician Souls, this card is terrible. The only reason I remotely enjoyed the idea of Soul Servant is if I open Soul Servant with one of these two, with one of Souls or Illusion of Chaos, because in testing, believe it or not, these 2 cards get me into Rod, and that's all I want, right? Like the idea of Soul Servant without souls is so useless. I can't stand this card. I hated seeing it every single time. Drawing it late game sucks. The only plausible reasoning for playing this card is it's a very high quality discard because it replaces itself in hand, which is actually quite nice. Awful card. I don't think I'll be playing this card. I might play it at 1 for the sole reason of it's a pseudo Magician's Rod and it's a spell to reveal off DM Pharaoh Servant. So maybe with Pharaoh Servant, my opinion slightly changes on this card. Until then, I hate this card. I can't stand this card. I've despised it on so many levels. Dark Magical Circle, I think, is a side deck card. This card is easily one of the craziest board breakers we have, especially with Pharaoh Servant. So Dark Magical Circle going second at 1 is okay. One thing I don't love about this card is in similar capacities to Soul Servant, seeing this card in your list, drawing it for turn, or drawing it in your first 5 card going first, it does feel pretty bad. One caveat, I know I was shitting on Soul Servant. One caveat is in an engine that we will be talking about later, Soul Servant is actually kind of mandatory, right? I'm saying I'm shitting on Soul Servant for the sole reason of I didn't enjoy it in the list I was specifically playing. But in the Shining Sarcophagus variant, which is a variant we will be talking about, I actually do enjoy Soul Servant, because the idea of Soul Servant being able to be the last push into a board is actually really, really nice. But I'll explain how that works. 3 Dark Magical Curtain, no debate there. And as far as DM Pharaoh Servant, this is weird. I can't decide. I played it at 1 for a while in testing. I loved it at 1. I bumped it up to 3 to see it more. I hated it at 3. So right now I'm playing it at 2. Is that correct? Is that not? I have no idea. I don't know. 2 feels comfortable. 3 is way too much. 3 in a breaker list? Potentially. Yeah, I could see that. Hood morning. No typo, my goat. Francis. Good morning, brother. Hope you're well, brother. In a hand trap list, 2 feels good. So in the way I've been approaching deck building is in a very hand trap heavy variant. I'm talking 12 hand traps and like 3 breakers. I've enjoyed it like that. Yeah, I've been playing 43, but anyways, I think as far as the DM engine goes, this is kind of what we're looking at. If everyone if your spells are higher than monsters, play 3. If your spells are lower, play 1. If you're mixing spells and monsters, play 2. That's my ideology on Pharaoh Servant. I mean, yeah, I think that's a fair threshold on what we kind of want to see within the list. Okay, so now the 2 engines I want to talk about, because this is actually pretty important, are obviously my favorite engine in the whole game right now, Diabellstar, and or Shining Sarcophagus. Bond between Brick and Garnet. Bonds between Brick and Garnet. What about bonds between teacher and student? Love that combo. I like the combo too, and I'll tell you what the problem with that combo is though. The problem with that combo is in a deck like this, I already hate playing the one off this. I already hate playing the one off this. I already hate playing the one off this. And the problem with playing bonds is bonds, you're playing another card that requires so much setup. And trying to eliminate those setup cards is something that I'm really actively trying to do. And it's why I have big issues with the Shining Sarc engine, despite it fixing the biggest problem Dark Magician has. So, something I wanted to talk about today is ask ourselves, what can we generate and what can we do when we open the supplementing engines with these? Because it's very obvious what the Dark Magician cards want to do, right? If we say open one single copy of Magician's Rod. Let me grab these. This is just a bunch of extra deck monsters, right? It's obvious what the Magician's Rod wants to do. You normal summon your Rod. Excuse me. You grab Dark Magical Curtain. Activate Curtain. Summon Dark Magician. Grabbing Gaze. Hey, one question using the Shining Sarc on your last vid. Nice to see you talking about that engine. Yeah, Shining Sarc is very good post support, and there's a few reasons as to why. It's not worth considering post mono. I kind of disagree, and I'll tell you why, but I'll explain it when we get to it. So once we're in this position, we want to banish our Dark Magician. We want to summon our Demod. Demod grabs us our Pharaoh Servant. And now this is kind of where our combo branches off into whatever we want to do, right? What I think we should be doing, regardless of what the format looks like, is going into Secret Village, which is Pharaoh Servant, reveal gaze, summon Pharaoh Servant, setting salvation, activating salvation, setting eternal soul. These two make Chorozo. These two make AFD. AFD pop salvation. Searching Secret Village. Activating gaze. Shuffling back Dark Magician of Destruction to summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And then activating Secret Village. And then here, what we have is we still have 4 cards in hand. Eternal Soul summons back DM Pharaoh Servant. And then if you want, after the Dragoon uses negate, you contribute it to add Rod back to hand to do it all over again. Now, that's what I think we should be doing with Dark Magician as an engine. I think it's far too oppressive. It's far too good going first. I know people hate it, but I definitely think that's the approach we want to go into if we're talking about what the Dark Magician engine wants to do. Now, alternatively, what we can do with it is, let's say we're in the exact same position we were prior, which was this was engrave, hand, Dark Magician of Destruction. Now, assuming, you know, Pharaoh Servant, reveal gaze, summon Pharaoh Servant effect. Here we want to do something like set the gaze. 2 gaze in minimum. Yeah, I 2 gaze mandatory. I think 2 gaze is like Jay just said, minimum. Hello, I was questioning in the using of starting targeting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I already read that. 3 is helpful but not needed. I think 2 gaze is perfectly fine. And when we're in this position, right, we have the 1 gaze set. I want to use gaze of, actually, do I want to use gaze of Timaeus yet? No, I don't. Okay, no. So, funny enough, yeah, okay. So, funny enough, and this is where I want to talk about, yeah, so, okay. We're in this position, right? And here you could start doing your link plays if you'd like. You can link these 2 off into IP. Where the heck's my IP? It's on the bottom, isn't it? We can go into IP, and then you can activate the gaze in hand, targeting this. You can summon your Dragoon, and then on your opponent's turn, let's say Red Eyes Dark Dragoon activates its effect to discard whatever. You can go IP into Selene. Selene revives your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, right? And then what you can do, or you can go into something like the the Charmers on your turn if you want. But let's say you're in Selene reviving your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Your opponent deals with it for whatever reason. Or if there's another alternative, like let's say something you can do is you can do something like Gaze of Timaeus targeting your Dark Magician, the Pharaoh Servant. So you have, at this point, you have 2 Dragoon negates, and then you can summon your Master of Chaos, Chainlink 1, Magician's Rod, tributing Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for cost, Chainlink 2, Master of Chaos, target and revive Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for the 3rd Dragoon. And that's 1 Magician's Rod. So 1 Magician's Rod gets you 3 Red Eyes Dark Dragoons. Right? So those are 2 approaches you can go. I'm fully committed to Dragoon with Gaze going Krashi before Dark Magician Pharaoh Servant. Allows you to protect the village line from Nib. although I'm unsure how to prevent how prevalent it would be. That's a conversation we can get there when we come up. But for the purpose of not necessarily playing around specific hand traps for the moment, I'm kind of trying to just think of like what we want to do, what approach we want to do. So like we have Magician's Rod is Dragoon Village and Pharaoh Servant for a board wipe. One rod is 3 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon negates. That's kind of the approach we want to go into. One Magician's Rod can be something like Timaeus the Magi Dragon and Dragoon, right? And 2 Dragoon negates, because that's also an option. How worth you feel Dragoon looping is? I personally don't like it because I like diversifying my interactions while keeping my hand advantage up. That's a whole other conversation. It's really hard to say no. It's really hard to say that 3 nope buttons are bad. To summon Black Witch and link off Black Witch armor and search Droll. So you could probably set up Village Lock with Droll in hand. Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, you can do that too. So the reason why I don't mind Soul Servant is because in that exact scenario, we are able to establish Azamina combo or Shining Star combo, right? Rather than searching Pharaoh Servant, our DMod is searching Magician Souls. Souls will send either Diabell Star or Dark Magician Girl. Now, if we play Dark Magician Girl, the reason why I like this card is this is one of the best board breakers going second, assuming you get hand trapped a billion. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Another thing that I like, another problem we have is we might need Village line might be potentially dead if we don't have an answer to the we might not have an answer to the monster that the opponent summons off Curtain, because remember, the opponent can summon a monster too. If our opponent summons a spellcaster, Curtain is dead. Now, let's assume that Magician's Rod gets to Dark Magical Curtain. F-Note plays under it nicely, but every other deck pretty much can't use Fallen the Virtuous except for Branded. Yeah. Hey, jumped into the stream. All respect to you for playing the deck you believe in. Dude, Hunters, thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. 3 Dragoons are very good, though, because the destruction also deals with cards like Anya Craft that aren't once per turn. I mean, Anya Craft isn't really, respectfully, it's not a real deck. But I understand what you mean. We need to consider that Elf Note is currently the best deck in the OCG and not Toons. They're all spellcasters for Village Lock. I'm not saying that's not a problem. I'm saying that in a blind game 1, you're obviously going to read the room for majority of the time. But I mean, YCS Montreal was a situation where Cool Toon was undoubtedly the best deck in the room. Like, it should have been the best deck in the room, and everybody was playing Rolad. So it's like, even though Elf Note is the best deck in the room, you know, if the room is all playing a different deck, then it's a meta call. Like, you know what I mean? It's a meta call. I was so sad when I saw your last deck profile, the branded bill. I know the branded cards are so overpowered. Are you planning to play them? Not post support. But the cool thing about the branded cards is, like mentioned in the video, the branded cards don't play like branded. It's very strange. The thought was, when I played the branded cards, I would end on specifically Dark Magician extra deck monsters. The only thing that branded cards were doing on my opponent's turn was Fallen of Abbas Fuse Away. So in this position, let's go Dark Magic Curtain. Dark Magic Curtain summons Dark Magician. And this is actually a card I've been using a lot in testing, and I'll get to what it was. And at this point, our opponent's able to summon a spellcaster, which theoretically makes Village void. You need an extra card for this to work. So whether it's a supplementary engine like Diabellstar, whether it's a supplementary engine like Shining Sarcophagus, you can get to Village in these ways. However, if our opponent does have, for example, an extra deck monster, sorry, not extra, a spellcaster monster on the board turning off Village, we do have access to deal with that in the form of, we make Demod, Demod effect, searches Feral Servant, reveal gaze, summon Feral Servant. It doesn't matter what you set here. Like, let's assume that we're going into Village, right? So we go Eternal Soul. And now we link these two off and go into Chaos Angel. And Chaos Angel deals with the body on board, and that's why Chaos Angel I think is going to be mandatory for DM post support. There's just too many easy ways to make Chaos Angel and fulfill Chaos Angel's board breaking abilities for it not to see play. I think Chaos Angel is a must. And the fact that Curran makes a 1-card Chaos Angel or Rod makes a 1-card Chaos Angel playing into a board, like, keep in mind at this point, going into a board, we've established Chaos Angel and Gaze. Obviously, we probably might not get to this point, but the idea that we can threaten a Chaos Angel playing into a board is very, very strong. On top of that, if we play, I'm not sure what deck's doing it now. Let's say there's a deck in the future that comes out like Draco Tail, and our opponent begins to play on our turn. Having the ability to access a Chaos Angel on our turn whilst establishing a board is something that's very attractive, right? So I think Chaos Angel is definitely a card that puts in a lot of work for Dark Magician post support. Now, I think Fallen the Virtuous is cool since some of the rare game states for DM packages decks like Destruction Effects gives you another disruption to push. So the cool thing about the thing I loved about Fallen the Virtuous, which is something that throughout Dark Magician branded testing with Fallen the Virtuous specifically, very rarely did I use the Fallen the Virtuous effect for destruction. I use Fallen the Virtuous to revive everything all the time. That card is so crazy when it comes to just quick effect monster reborning everything. I'm talking things that I've been doing. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Like within the list, things like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Hopefully I find it. Like mid combo, you make Grang and Yol, you send Diabell's the original Sinful Sinkeeper, and then mid combo, because you got to Fallen the Virtuous, in the end phase, you've Fallen the Virtuous, summon her back, and you immediately insulate your board from Super Poly, Fallen the Virtuous, other quick want. If your opponent open Wanted and roll that Azmina, you turn off that side of the game. This card was so disgusting. On top of that, a lot of times in the branded end board, we would end on something like, it's so hard to showcase without all the cards out. I put away most of my branded cards. I would have a position where I'd have something like Magi Dragon in the graveyard, and I'd have like this. I'll show you what the theoretical end board was. I know we're going off topic. It was this. It was Quem. Cartesia was in the grave. This idiot came back to hand, but I guess you don't need to show that. That Fallen in the Virtuous set, and then I don't have my Ecclesia, but Ecclesia would come back. And this was like the end board, right? And what you would do is you would do something like Fallen the Virtuous, summon back your Magi Dragon, and the second your opponent starts playing, or if you had another Gaze set or whatever the case is, you would do something like Quem would go and summon back Ecclesia. Your Ecclesia would banish itself. Right? Hold on. What's the line? I had it here. I'm trying to remember how it was all set up. Yeah, so it was something like this. You'd have a card that would trigger or activate to summon back the Cartesia. Your Ecclesia would banish. You would summon Fall of the White Dragon. And then you can do something like Ecclesia effect, fuse these two off to summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Right? Things like that. Or the line was actually to put... Yeah, so the line, this is what it was. The line was to put Dmod in the EMZ so that whenever you did summon her back, you can go something like Ecclesia effect, send this idiot summons where is she? This idiot Cartesia fuses these two off into your Dragoon, and then you go Ecclesia effect to summon the regular Fallen of Albaz to fuse away your opponent's board. That was the idea. Anyways, sorry for my ramble. I promised we weren't going to talk about Branded, and we started talking about Branded. Deck's never going to escape me. Oh, good, a live stream. Time to learn something. Mr. Gohan Blanco, how are you, sir? Dark Magic Gaming, what's good? What's good with you, man? How are you? Thank you for coming. Okay. So now that we established all of that, now what I want to do is talk about why I want to play the sub-engines I want to play. First and foremost, why do I want to play this engine? Well, this engine, more than anything, is currently in the way this engine is kind of set up is if you're playing into a board, it really feels like you need to have this card in your hand as a chance to kind of have that last push going into a board. And what I mean by that is the way Shining Star currently feels is I am starting with this card every single time, and I'm starting with this card to get access into the Dark Magician of Destruction. My thought for Shining Sarcophagus going forward is the idea that if I'm playing with, my Dark Magician cards and they get interrupted, this is the one reason why I don't hate the idea of playing Soul Servant. And Soul Servant is okay in combination with these. Because the idea that you are doing something like, let's say, Magician's Rod and or Curtain, hypothetically, your Rod gets interrupted, you go Dark Magic, you go Dark Magic Curtain, you go Dark Magician. Oh, I got a subscriber. HDMI Shy Guy just subscribed. Thanks, dude. Thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the Match UIGO community. I don't have a name for it. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you being here, brother. And let's say hypothetically you play through your 2 interruptions, 2-3 interruptions. Curtain gets you a card. So in this case, let's say Curtain grabs you Gaze of Timaeus, hypothetically. At this point, you're going through your standard Dark Magician lines. Now, obviously, this is a very poor example, but I'm assuming that, let's say you, where's my demod? Did I lose my demod? Hopefully not. You guys saw it. I just had it in my hand. Oh, brother. There she is. He is. All right. Hypothetically, they negate your gaze. You know, you end up with a Soul Servant. In this position, the beautiful thing about Soul Servant is, let's say your opponent has played through, or you've played through 3 or 4 interactions, and this is this is one of the last cards in hand. The idea that you can Soul Servant, stack Dark Magician Girl, which summons herself, grabs you access to this, grabs you into access into Gandora. The fact that we have a push like as strong as Gandora after we get interrupted a billion times is so attractive, right? It's one of the few things I really enjoy about the Shining Sarcophagus engine. There is a bunch more about the engine that I really like, and it's about the very niche nuances that the engine offers that I enjoy. It being, you know, a free access to Dark Magician of Destruction. Shining Sarcophagus is unironically a very good interruption right now. Gandora has been carrying Shining Sark on his back for a while now. I think it's the best Shining Sarcophagus card. And what I love about it is the idea that pure Dark Magician now has the ability to play through all those robust hand traps, and you just Soul Servant stack DMG and you have an immediate board breaker or a threat of a board breaker. Even more so, the idea of just hard opening Shining Sarcophagus. Let's say your opponent has a relatively fragile board, hypothetically. The fact that Shining Sarcophagus demands a reaction, and like, if this is your hand, let's say it's Shining Sarcophagus, Rod, Curtain, and like Pharaoh Servant. Okay, that's over exact. Like, you open cracked if that's the case. Let's say if it's something like this, right? Like, Shining Sarcophagus is your weakest starter, which is crazy to think. So the idea that you can lead with Shining Sarcophagus to threaten Gandora and pop the board is very, very impressive. The only issue I have with Shining Sarcophagus is that if you go, for example, uninterrupted, like let's say in a hypothetical world, this is my biggest issue with Shining Sarcophagus. In a hypothetical world, you start Magician's Rod, Curtain, let's say Pharaoh Servant, whatever, and you go uninterrupted. These Shining Sark cards don't offer anything to the end board. They offer an extra body if you want to go into an IP, I guess, SP, whatever. Like, these cards unfortunately don't do enough for the actual end board itself to make them attractive. I love them as board breakers, but as far as like having these cards establish their own board, I know there are certain lists that like you know, you could one card village with DMG, which is pretty impressive. Like, one card village locking with DMG is very good. The cool thing, these still are starters. It's just one of those things where these cards don't establish enough in combination on top of what this engine already wants to do. These cards are what they feel like is extenders. If you get interrupted a bunch of times, they're free bodies, and it's a breaker, which is, like, to be fair, as far as a floor goes, that's a really high floor. Why are you not playing the Chaos Origin cards? They are truly Yugi DM cards. I talked about it at the start of the stream a little bit. My issue with the rollout cards is that they don't fix the problem for what Dark Magician wants to do. My thing for Dark Magician post Curtain is finding out what the problem is with the deck and what sub engines I could use to help fill those gaps. And Rolad doesn't offer that. What it feels, Rolad, although is a very good engine, it has a very high floor. What Rolad does, I don't think pushes DM to do what DM wants to do better. Not only that, the strength of Rolad is something that DM already offers at a slightly lower level. Hypothetically, let's say Rolad, you can sit on Mind Shuffle and get a BLS banish. That's a BLS towers, right? We have a pseudo towers. We have a pseudo towers that targets and negates a spell and trap card. And in getting to here, what we have is we have access into something like a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Like the way the modern DM decks work is you're ending on 2 of these. You're ending on any combination of these 2. The idea that now we have this as a potential toolbox as well is super attractive. So the idea that Rolad is a very low to the floor, very low to the floor deck, that's very strong. The things it does, DM already does in some sort of capacity. And the way I want to approach DM is the next engine we're going to be talking about is the Azamina stuff. The best comparison I can make for why I don't really want to play Rolad with DM is Rolad plays best with Azamina as a supplementary engine, which means what we want to think about is like the comparison I'm trying to make is Rolad is the DM side of this. Like if you're talking about the combination of DM Azamina and Rolad Azamina, both DM and Rolad serve the same purpose, which is establishing, your I have to show you DM Rolad Azamina. I got Azamina both. I got the lines. Yeah, we'll sit down and talk. Like I said, I'm not closing the book on Rolad. I am familiar with what Rolad does. I understand that Rolad is a very good deck. There's a few issues with it. One, I think it's a little bit similar in the Shining Sarcophagus ideology of playing a strategy that we already do fairly well. On top of that, Rolad plays a lot of bricks in a deck that already bricks. And the reason why I love Azamina is you have one really shitty brick, but it does answer a lot of the problems. For one, it grabs you access in the DMod. It plays by itself. It recurs. It it can break. It can help push into boards, which is something that I'm in love with Solaris Catan. This card is crazy. I know I sound redundant. Most of my channel since DMod has come out has been very Azamina focused. The engine's too good. If you want to win, the best decks in the game are playing this deck. The best decks in the game are playing Azamina. I think it's silly not to play them. Now, one thing I do want to think about is we were thinking about, okay, what we saw what one rod does. Let's see what we can do with one Diabell Star. Like, I know I've come very prepared, and I kind of want to do this live and explore what these cards kind of have to offer. Let's figure this out together. Jose, I don't believe in 60 card DMs. I feel like you can make a fairly competent combo pile. For sure. Rollout solves the banish problem and recursion for DM. The problem is we already have 3 Diabell Star, 3 wanted. We need 10 Diabell wanted consistency. Hey, Matchy, what's up, Felipe? Could you please do a quick deck profile at the end? If we finalize the list, sure. So, hypothetically, let's assume we start with Diabell Star. Let's see what one Diabell Star can do for us. Diabell Star, you set Deception, activate Deception, and now we go straight into DMod. DMod effect. Let's grab rod. Normal summon rod. Rod effect. Search curtain. Activate curtain. Let's summon out Dark Magician. Because we summon a vanilla, we can search gaze. Now we can. Ooh, we don't have Pharaoh Servant in this case. Interesting. Because we grabbed the rod. Oh. Okay. So that might be a small problem. What if we demod rod into curtain? Curtain summon DM. You see, here's the time where Soul Servant is actually pretty decent. Right? Because now we go Soul Servant. Stacks Pharaoh Servant. Deception can send Dark Magician. Search wanted. Reveal wanted, summon Pharaoh Servant. Pharaoh Servant effect. I guess we can search gaze. And now we can do something like Deception tributing Dark Magician of Destruction. Oh no, we can't. Wait, oh, what the hell do we... Oh yeah, we already tributed that, so we already have this. Alright, okay. Hollowed Azamina. Sending Deception. Summon Rusiliago effect. Search wanted. Kind of want to keep Pharaoh Servant. Summon IP. Wouldn't 2 Dragoons be better than 1 Dragoon plus Azamina? We're gonna make 3 Dragoons. Draw curtain with wanted plus 1 off Soul Servant. Draw curtain with wanted. Oh, that's all the way back there. Have you thought about using Diabellstar Vengeance, Saint Azamina on the deck? I've thought about Saint Azamina, especially because I really want to play Super Poly. Because I want to play Super Poly, and because I think, excuse me, because I'm playing Super Poly, and I think Rollout Azamina is still going to be a very popular deck. Saint Azamina actually goes crazy. It's fun to speculate, but we don't really know until the ban list drops. 100%. You can always link into Contact Witch to get both Rod and Dark Magician Pharaoh Servant. Yeah, you can do that too. The problem is I don't really want to play Contact Witch. The extra deck does get pretty tight, especially when you're playing non-engine like Super Poly and Orphan the Virtuous. What's the shortest amount of time it's taken for a new card to get banned? I mean, the tier limit cards got banned pretty quickly. What else recently got banned? Didn't Super Heavy Samurai get like killed on the ban list after like a week? Oh yeah, Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow. Thank you. Thank you, Neo. All right. When we're in this position, we want to go Hallowed Azamina. Add back this. And then we can go 1, 2. Add back. Send. Summon Sylvia. And now we have Soul's Errant banished to draw 1. Wanted banished to put Deception to the bottom of the deck. To draw another. We still have... We discarded 1 off Diabell Star, right? So we have 3 cards in hand. And then we can do... I mean, that's pretty good. It's a shame I can't make seals. I'm trying to think if there's another way to get Gaze. Quintet. Shadow, you are a baller. Unfortunately, I don't ball like that. The only super baller target you meet is Mixusia. Oh, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. I'm trying to think. I'm like, is there a way? This is 1 Diabell, which is fine, but like, eh. Because here we're doing... You know what? When we probably link these off, I probably want Rod in the graveyard. So it's probably something like this. Now if we open non-engine like Super Poly, like let's say like we drew 2 cards, we could have potentially drawn into a Super Poly. Like if we had non-engine like Super Poly in hand, because we are playing it, keeping Demon on the field does feel kind of nice. So let's say Gaze, target DM. Summon Dragoon, Rod, Tribute, Demod, and then let's say Dragoon, effect, send Diabell, Diabell, send Dragoon, summon back Diabell, Diabell sets Wanted, IP and Diabell. Celine revive Dragoon. 2 Dragoon negates. 2 Dragoon negates. Follow up. A spell and trap card. Board wipe. And Sylvia negate. And then on your next turn, if you survive, I mean you can make the Charmer through Celine. I mean, that's okay. Do we play Souls or no, Mygo? Until it's banned, I think we play 1. Do I think it's good? Eh. It's fine. It's a free body. So basically, there's a precedent for problematic cards being hit quickly if they're problematic enough. Yeah, pretty much. Ergo, they can ban Ziana and leave our DM cards alone. Please don't touch my DM cards. My go eHeroes Forge. How you doing, brother? Please stop speaking of Souls ban into existence. I would rather Souls ban than Dmod. Don't touch Dmod. Don't touch Dmod. Get rid of Souls. Don't touch Dmod, and don't touch Diabell Star My Queen. Like, straight up, if like, I love Magician Souls. Honestly, the correct answer is banning this thing. Matchy praying for my downfall. Don't touch Souls or Dmod. Dude, I don't want them to ban those either. I'm just saying, I'd rather them ban that than Diabell Unwanted. That whole Discord will be at Konami's headquarters. Dude, the whole Discord's at Konami's headquarters anyways. Leading up until Dmod, remember when Dmod came out and the animosity that card had? Holy. Led by Gohan Blanco. It's hilarious. Why would they ban Souls? Azumina hasn't done enough to warrant a ban. I mean, wasn't it like 16 of the top 32 decks were roll at Azumina at Montreal? It's a very popular engine, and what Souls enables is it enables the Azumina cards to create this crazy combo slop. No? Then who did I get my information from? Let me see. Let me see this. YCS Montreal top decks. Advanced format top 32. Obviously, it's not going to show me here. Sorry, 9. 9 in the top 32. We're roll out. Which is still, like, pretty significant. Considering in top 32, you had 7 elf notes, 10 cool tunes. It's the second highest represented deck in Top Cut. Souls is a war crime level bridge if you use Protocode, Firewall, Ziana, and Charmerling for in the extra deck. YCS Montreal was not a real format. Azumina is not OP. Speak it louder, Francis. For real, for real. Fake format. Played a fake YCS. I wasn't even there. It's just made up. It's negative propaganda by the Konami government. So, I don't know. I think Roll-Out DM, I think, is worth experimenting. For real, Jose. I think Roll-Out DM is definitely worth exploring. I will be exploring it. I have significant reservations about Roll-Out Azumina. I'm a little nervous about it. What happens? So we saw what one Diabell does. We saw what one Rod does. What happens if we open like Diabell and Kern? Like what does this look like? We probably start with our weakest starter, which is actually in this case it's probably Kern that's our weakest starter. Dark Magical Curtain. Summon DM. Grab Gaze. Banish DM. Summon Dmod. Dmod effect. Grab Rod. No, do we want to grab Rod? See, this is another example where grabbing Soul Servant's so good. I shit on this card so much, and I think Soul Servant's a lot of answers. Yeah, normal Rod, grab Soul Servant. Activate Soul Servant. Actually, we don't want to activate Soul Servant yet. So what we can do, discard a random card from hand. Summon Diabell. We could even send Demod here to keep a card in hand if we want to. Set Deception. Activate Deception. Deception, tribute Diabell, sorry. Search for Hollow. Hollow and Deception. Search Rusiliago. Rusiliago effect, grab Wanted. These two into Chorozo, my goat. And then we can do Wanted or Hollowed Azumina Engrave, targeting Rusiliago. Wanted and Hollowed, grabbing Diabell. Search Sylvia. Wanted Engrave, targeting Deception. Chain Soul Servant. Stacking Pharaoh's Servant. To the bottom. Draw one. Banish, draw another. And we had one discard off Diabell, right? And 2 cards in hand. So this is our hand right now. Pharaoh Servant, reveal Gaze, summon Pharaoh Servant. Salvation. Eternal Soul. AFD pop Salvation. Village. Gaze, targets. Demod. Grab a Dragoon. IP. Village. And now we have Eternal Soul. Summon back this. Dragoon negate. Oh, actually no. We probably want to go Dragoon negate first. Tribute. Special. These two into Selene, and then you have double Dragoon. Rod back in hand. Follow up. Eternal Soul summon back for Servant. Let's see. Yo, future of DM. Hell yeah, buddy. What's up, Loza? How you doing, brother? Hope you're good. It's just to play Rollout with the DM engine. Slifer Slacker, we spent the whole stream talking about why I don't think Rollout DM is... I don't think it's going to be the answer. You could also have set the DM off Curtain if you wanted to avoid banishing him. Sent the DM off Curtain if you want to avoid banishing him. I'm trying to think. Curtain, or you mean Deception? Pretty much, Curtain, draw phase Dragoon, which beats Droll, leaving you with an auto win if they don't open a Charmy. Yeah. Why does something have to be banned? What premise does it have? It's just too good. It enables too much. The way Gaze could return him another curtain would be live. Oh, that way Gaze could return him and another curtain would have been live next turn. That's pretty good too. Loza made it. Loza's like, go. Instead of Chorozo, I'd be going cross sheep. Then I just slop. It's like impossible to cut Azamina, eh? Dude, it's too good. It does too much. Every best deck in the game is abusing it right now, and we abuse it better than every other best deck. Can't convince me otherwise. What happens when you interrupted mid-Azamina combo? The board is significantly weaker. Is it? Because you're still ending on Village, Dragoon, and or Magi Dragon. And you don't have to go into Village. You can end on like double Dragoon in that case. You have follow-up. Like the Azamina stuff, if it gets interrupted, before, yeah, it's pretty dire. But like the fact that now your DM engine, the idea that your DM engine can pull so much weight is really good. Hello, fellow Gooners. What's up, King Mahdi? Hope you're good, brother. I'm trying to catch up. Oh my god, there's so much. You guys type so much. I love you all so much. Dude, love all of you DM content creators. Dude, appreciate you, Lewis. Secret Village in the main is just mean, brother. Dude, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta beat Degenerate too. I'm sick of playing fair. That's why I run solo Riskaton. It helps a lot to address going second, playing into a board. Gohan Blanco spit in. And the fact that solo Riskaton is a really good answer into Rolad right now feels like crack. So good. Thank you guys. Great points. That's what we're all here for. Ozzy here. Great stream. Oh, Oz. No, not Ozzy. Sorry. How you doing, brother? You good? Happy you're here. Well, looky here. This Canadian thinks he's some kind of magician. I am a magician, St. Marcus. I have a disappearing act. I have a very good disappearing act. Every high tiered event, I go X3 and drop. Very good disappearing act. DM going second is at an all-time high. MO if you play Sark and or MVP. Dude, Yoza, you missed at the start of the stream. I was shitting all over Soul Servant, and the one point I was trying to make was I really like Soul Servant in the premise of playing Shining Sarcophagus. And to give a quick summary of what I was thinking about was the idea that Dark Magician can play through so much, and hypothetically it gets interrupted 3-4 times. The idea that you end on something like a Demon and a Soul Servant, that still is a colossal board breaker that can help you push and potentially win a game. The idea that you get interrupted a bunch of times, end on, let's say, Demon and a Soul Servant with 2 cards in hand. The fact that Soul Servant gets you into Gandora off the back of Dark Magician Girl is such a strong point of like a colossal board wipe that can completely put you back in the game. It's so strong. And it's why I love the idea of Shining Sark. The problem with Shining Sark is what I mentioned was Shining Sark already does what DM does in terms of establishing your D-mod. And what happens is I found when testing Shining Sarcophagus, once all my Dark Magician cards resolved, the problem was when all my Dark Magician cards resolved and I was finished making a board, and I had a Shining Sarcophagus in my hand or a Shining Sarcophagus DMG, those cards didn't add anything to the end board, which is something I wasn't really fond of. Something that I also love about Azamina in this case is when you open something like Magician Souls, Illusion of Chaos, Dark Magic Curtain, like all these cards, these are all Azamina. This is all Azamina in the same regard. So hypothetically, like it's a little weaker, but it's not that bad. I think Curtain might be Azamina by herself. Is it Azamina by herself? No, we need an extra card. So yeah, pretty much any of these 2 cards, any combination of these 2 cards, even this. As much as I hate this card, this is all Azamina combo on top of it. So hypothetically, let's say we go like Curtain Souls. Actually, that's too easy. Let's go Curtain Rod. Normal summon Magician's Rod. Grab Soul Servant. Activate Curtain. Summon Dark Magician. We might even get to Azamina. I think we can get to Azamina off one card here. Soul Servant stacking. I think we might be able to get the Azamina off one card here. Banish this, draw this. Soul's Effect. It's actually so funny because we can do something like... Do I want to do this now though? I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Souls, send this. Summon Souls. To IP. Gaze targeting Dark Magician. Summon Master of Chaos. Master of Chaos revive. Diabell. I'll put her over here. Sorry, my face was in the way. My big face was in the way. Set Deception. Activate Deception. And off we go. We can still even... We don't even have Demod, so we can go Demod. Demod effect, searching for Gaze. No, Feral Servant. Deception tributes Master of Chaos. Grab Hollowed. Reveal Hollowed off this. And I mean, we can get into Village here if we want. Or we can just go into a second Gaze. I don't know, just an idea. And now your whole Azamina stuff is online as well. Ayo, Tactics, my goat. What's up, Tactics? Dark Magician Tactics. One of the best homies a guy can ask for. What's up, Louisiana? Master of Chaos, Paladin, Retrain, Goon. Oh, it's crazy. Been looking forward to the hero reveals today for the TCG. Fingers crossed on upgraded Raw and Ultra. Give me a Rod and Ulti. Give me Ultimate Rare Rod. It's better going second than it's ever been. But we're talking about playing second in the Cool Toon Elf Nose Toon. That's another thing, right? That being said, is that those decks, as strong as they are, at least we have tools to attempt to play into them. At the moment, we don't have the tools at all. So it's really cool that at the very, very least, we have enough of a toolbox to make playing into those boards pretty good. Almost said it. Jay, have you been playing with the DM? Have you played with IOC Summon and Pure DM? I have. So there is actually a hilarious line that I've been messing around with. I was gonna make a video on it, and quite honestly, like, I just never got around to it. But there is a very funny line if we play Secrets. Oh god, I can't remember what it is though. Was it one Rod? Hold on, let's see. Okay, so it was normal summon Rod. I have a screenshot of it on my phone. Unfortunately, I don't have access to my phone right now because it's being used as a camera. IOC is actually a pretty decent interruption. It's not as strong, but it is plausible if you play a bad card like Secrets. Dark Magical Curtain. Summon Dark Magician. Dark Magician searches us. Secrets? Is it secrets? Or is it gaze? Shoot, I forgot. How did it go? Alright, let's play it out. Worst case, I'll backtrack. And then you do this. No, it's definitely... It's gaze. It's gaze. Banish DM into Dmod. Dmod effect. Grab Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos. Grab Feral Servant. Put back anything else. Feral Servant summon, revealing gaze. Setting Secrets of Dark Magic. These two into IP. And now what we have set one, and what we have is we go Gaze of Timaeus, targeting Dmod, summon Dragoon, Dragoon effect. Sorry, not Dragoon effect. And then we can do something like Secrets of Dark Magic. Like after Dragoon has used its effect, Secrets of Dark Magic, ritual summoning this. Magician's Rod effect, tributing Dragoon. Illusion of Chaos effect, putting this back into the hand, special summoning this. So we have Illusion of Chaos negate and 2 Rise Dark Dragoon negates with follow-up. That was not good. Well, we're talking about how we want to make Illusion of Chaos viable. Like obviously, I don't think we're summoning Illusion of Chaos, but the idea was we can utilize Illusion of Chaos as a form of. It's 1 to Dragoon negate. How is it 1 Dragoon negate? It's 2. You only had... I'm playing with 4 of the random cards in hand, though. So let's say, for the purpose of this again, we have 4 cards in hand. Rod, search Curtain, activate Curtain, summon DM. With Curtain, we search Gaze, banish DM, summon Dmod. Dmod, search Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos, search Feral Servant. Put a random card back. And then we go Feral Servant, reveal Gaze, summon Feral Servant, set secrets, link these 2 off into IP. What's up, Rico? My cat's going crazy. We gotta feed him. And then we go, yeah, and then everything else works out the same way. Gaze, target this. Whoops. You guys see my cat? I don't know if you can see him. He's going crazy. I'm coming, Rico. 1 second, please. Let me finish this educational lesson real quick. Be with you in a minute. 1, 2, bam, bam, rod, bam, bam, and then negate, summon. I already negated something with Dragoon. So we 1 negate. Let's see how many cards we ended on. These 2. And then another negate. So I mean, yeah. Might give my life for Rico. I might give my life for Rico too. Is Bestial Dispatcher a viable thing to summon with DM? Only Bestial Dispatcher is very okay to summon if huge if we play Hieratic Seals. Don't laugh at me. You know who you are, don't laugh at me. If we play Hieratic Seals, we would have to play Hieratic Seals, Mausoleum, and these are extra bricks, but like given the flexibility of our deck, this is a plausible outcome. If we want to cut Salvation and play this, then playing something like a Bestial Package and Dispatcher is very much viable because we can search Bestial Magnuma in combo if we play these. And if we search, you see this? Hold on. Where is he? I don't know if you guys can see him. Come here. I want to see you. No? Crazy guy. Yeah, so if you're playing this package, if you're cutting something like Show Us the Kitty, I don't want to pick him up. He doesn't like getting picked up. It's not good enough for competitive. As far as, look at him going crazy. Dude, what are you doing? I'm not gonna end the stream just for him. Although I should be getting off soon. Yeah, and so if you are playing this package, you can play a Bestial Dispatcher because these cards allow you to search a Bestial Magnuma in combo. So the idea is within combo, you are ending on something like Bestial Magnuma effect to search a dragon in the end phase, which is another Bestial in your deck. And then with the rest of your bodies, you're making a Chorozo, and you're using this and Chorozo to go into your Bestial Dispatcher. That's the idea. So if we want to showcase that, the way that would work is either Azamina, the Azamina stuff, or Magician's Rod gets there. For the sake of the conversation, we can do something like Souls and Rod. Yo, Seals, that's a clever tech. Gohan, shut up. You're so mean, man. You're so mean. I read the level of sarcasm I read in that message is so insulting. But yeah. So the idea is you do something like Magician's Rod effect. You search for Curtain. Go Curtain effect. I pet my cat and now I have hair everywhere. I took off my oversleeves too just for the stream because I didn't know what I was building. So I got hair everywhere. I'm late for the cook cat. Don't worry, Millennium. What is that? I can't read. Oh my god, I'm so blind. Bulby, Millennium Bulby TCG. You're not late. Don't worry. It's all gonna be back on the live. If you're not ending on Dragoon within your 5-6 interactions, it's not good enough. Well, Shadow, let's end on Dragoon with our first 5 interactions. One card full board combos. It's not going to make 2-card combos are dead now. I'm just speaking in hypotheticals, but we could probably do this in 1 card if we want to do it. If we want to do it in 1 card, we can do it with 1 card. Let's build our full board off 1 card. Magician's Rod effect. Search Curtain. Activate Curtain. Summon DM, and we'll search for Pharaoh Servant. Or sorry, Soul Servant. We'll banish DM. demod. Demod effect. Search. Dark Magician, the Pharaoh Servant. Reveal Soul Servant, summon this. Ooh. Done. There's that. How do we get to the rest of this? Did I misplay this? We don't search Pharaoh Servant, we search souls. Because we want to revive that. Okay. Let me go souls. Send Diabel. Summon Magician Souls. Link off souls for Spirit. Spirit effect. Grab Mausoleum. Soul Servant. Banish. Stacking Gaze. Gaze, target demod. Summon Magi. Oh no, we can't do that. So we need Master of Chaos here. Interesting. So we need to play 2 spirits in this case? Do I want to play 2 spirits though? That's kind of ass if I play 2 spirits though. Because we'd have to retract that. And we'd have to play... Do I want to play 2 spirits? 2 spirits get us there, but playing 2 spirits is really bad. Or if we find another way to get to a fusion. No, Alex, all I'm doing is there was a question if we could play Dispatter. I'm trying to showcase the line to Dispatter. The line to Dispatter works if we have 2 cards and then someone said, oh, 2 card combos are really bad. You have to do it in a 1 card combo. So I'm just like, all right, challenge accepted, but I don't think we could do it with 1 card if we open double spirit. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that. This is definitely a 2 spirit channel. Shut up, man. Dude, you're so mean. Oh shit. We can cut souls, no problem. I think we can cut souls too. I'm just the only reason I semi enjoy souls in this specific list is it gives the DM cards access to Diabel, as I showcased earlier in the stream. I reckon just stuff 6 Moltramis in the deck. We could the non-engine I was playing for a while when testing was Impulse, Imperms, Ogres, Perulias, Super Polys, and Ash. So I was playing 12 hand traps and Super Poly, or was it 9 hand traps and Super Poly? I don't remember. I think it was 12. I don't remember. The end board is good enough without Sylvia though. Is no good enough, or is no good even without, or so good even without Sylvia? Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree, Alex. I think Souls is just as good in this list because Souls is a free send. I don't understand that rationale. Yes, other decks are able to completely abuse this card to oblivion, like to the point where it is ban worthy. But that's not to say it's a bad card in our list. It's fine. I'm on Impulse all the way. I love the idea of Spark. I haven't been a fan of Spark. If Spark is your only interruption, on your turn, it sucks. It sucks. Dude, the idea that you just give your opponent a free extender really does suck. Yeah, so I'm very much on playing Impulse, Imperm, Ash, Ogres, Perulia's over Fua, by the way, and Super Poly. I think Super Poly is mandatory right now. Impulse is goated, man. Impulse is like the best hand trap in the game right now. Yeah, DM Pharaoh Servant is unironically one of the better. Is the best. Pharaoh Servant is the replacement for Magician Souls. 100%. Spark is a pseudo breaker at times. It just feels. It feels best used in end phases, but you gotta fire it early a lot. Yeah, like. I don't know. I could speak from my experience. The amount of times I've been playing into a board or playing first, and someone hits me with Dominus Spark, and I'm just like, cool, I get to summon a free Dia Bellstar. It's not. It's just, yeah. Get wrecked, bozo. I agree, Alex. So something that I've been doing is actually, if I open, where are they? Like, in recent games that I've been playing, cards like Ash, a card that I absolutely love right now is like Ogre. Ogre, my Impulses, for example. A lot of times when I have these cards, rarely. If my hand is like really relatively good, rarely do I use these cards to stop my opponent from building a board. A lot of times, the amount of times I've held like Impulse in testing, I've held I let my opponent combo and I hold Impulse for my turn, and then I fire off Impulse on my turn playing into a board. This card is disgusting. Your opponent tries to, for example, in Yummy, you know, you're playing into your board and your opponent goes synchro bounce back effect to summon back 2 bodies, and you impulse that, you win the game on the spot. Yeah, so like impulse has been crazy for me. I haven't really been using impulse to stop my opponent on their turn to help them build a half board, because I think a lot of half boards are still very oppressive, and because of how interactions work in how a lot of these interactions work for the modern decks, a lot of times they like to play on your turn. So having something like an impulse on your turn to stop their push, or have something like an ogre on your turn to stop their, it's like the amount of times I saved ogre for my turn against Branded, and my opponent would try to go Ecclesia on my turn, and you ogre the Ecclesia, then it shuts off their entire board. It's so strong. Rather than going ogre on something like I don't know how to Ecclesia on their turn, because then they can still go through a push. So holding ogre for the mind shuffle trap on your turn is really strong as well. Yeah, so it's like typically I think the play for hand traps is, unless you open 4 with a 1-card starter, if I open like 2 hand traps, maybe I'll fire 1. Most of the time I'm holding hand traps for my turn. Yes. Not even Jade. Dude, Jade is kind of whatever. This card is a menace to play against Branded. They summon a Dogma on you. This card is so miserable to play into. Hey, I'm going to shuffle back your DM cards. I'm going to shuffle back your DM and like a Servant, your DM and a Dia Bellstar. Your DM, the amount of time someone shuffled back something like a Sylvia or a Rusiliago in my grave, as I had Hallowed in grave, dude, this card is a house. And the fact that it's unaffected when they have an Ecclesia monster, which is relatively often, it's so annoying. I mean, the cards come out in 3 weeks, so yeah. Hopefully there's a ban list by then. What's the going second game plan? Is it just pray for super poly? Well, yeah, we just talked about all the hand trap interactions. You are playing an abundance of hand traps. Yeah, you're playing an abundance of hand traps. Impulse, Imperm, Called by the Grave, Ogre, Super Poly. I've experimented with decks where I played Fallen the Virtuous, and the reason why I like Fallen the Virtuous so much is if I open, for example, 2 Fallen the Virtuouses, or if I open, for example, 1, the idea that you can like Fallen the Virtuous, send I don't have it on me right now, send Ecclesia to the graveyard so that your other one turns into a Monster Reborn. That's really nice. Another thing, Fallen the Virtuous is just a free breaker, or a free like something that I've done during the YCS is I got interrupted. I had Fallen the Virtuous. Where is it? Something that I did during the YCS. If we played Spirit, this is kind of a problem, but not really. Is something like this came up a bunch at the YCS. I'd be playing and then I'd go into Spirit off Rod to try to go bridge into the branded stuff off the back of Wanted and Diabellstar and Rod and things like that. So like they know that Spirit is a big choke point. They would do something like stop me on the Spirit, and if I have nothing here, something like Fallen the Virtuous, sending Titanic Lad to pop the Spirit to now unlock me so I can keep going. And in the end phase, Titanic Lad then summons my Quem or a Walbaz, and I go from there, right? Something like a Quem sending, like if my hand is, for example, let's hypothetically they stop me and my hand is something like Illusion of Chaos in hand, right? Something like Quem effect, send Brandon High Spirits, or Cartesia or whatever, and like hypothetically something like Brandon's High Spirits, add back, send Dark Magician Destruction to the graveyard, sending this, grabbing Walbaz. And obviously this is just the hype. I have more stuff in the grave. Hypothetically, Quem would then revive like a Cartesia for me, whatever the case is, or Ecclesia, quick effect, bounce off, summon back Fallen of Walbaz, fuse into something like an Albion or a Mirajade or something. If I even have like a spare Gaze running around, Gaze can now target my Dark Magician of Destruction and make it live. Like the deck had so many intricate plays that you can make, and it all stemmed off Fallen the Virtuous. So it's like a lot of times Fallen the Virtuous wasn't like, it functions as a breaker and as a really good piece of interruption. A lot of times it was a combo starter. Christian, what's going on? I love Fallen the Virtuous in the Fusion Cup. It's so broken, dude. It's so good. By the way, hi, joining late here. How you doing, Christian? Long time no chat. Hope you're doing well, brother. So yeah, that's the idea with Fallen the Virtuous. So this is absolutely a card that we can play, something that I was thinking about. If we have a robust extra deck, if we're able to play something like a bunch of Super Poly targets and Fallen the Virtuous, that would be super ideal. I don't think that's plausible because hypothetically, what does our extra deck look like? Sylvia, Rusiliago, potentially Solar Eschaton, Dark Paladin, not yet, but like we'll talk about Dark Paladin, Dragoon, Master of Chaos, Demod, Timaeus. Like that's already 7 cards, right? And then we have AFD because we are playing Village. 9 cards. We could play Super Poly. I guess for Super Poly, like these two can be like targets. And the cool thing about Super Poly in this format is a lot of decks are playing Demod. Something that I've been doing is actually like when sorry, my head's in the way. Oh, Mac Ruthier, how you doing, man? Thanks for subscribing, brother. Yeah, so it's like the cool thing is like a lot of boards are ending on in rollout Azamina, like Azamina El Sylvia, or if they're playing, you know, Azamina branded, a lot of Azamina slop. Super Poly goes crazy into boards that have like Muru Suliago and Sylvia, right? Super Poly breaks those boards, and you could like, I've had a game where someone was playing not at the YCS but in testing. They ended on Azamina El Sylvia, and what did they end on? I can't remember what they ended on. And it was literally like Super Poly the 2 bodies and make my own Sylvia. It was so good. So like the fact that these are now inherently Super Poly targets is really, really nice. Another cool thing that I did once was when you Lava Golem them, right? So Lava Golem's a fiend, right? So Lava Golem has a lot of synergy with Solar Eschaton, because what you can do is something like Lava Golem, then have them end on like a El Sylvia and a Lava Golem. Then you go Super Poly, summon Solar Eschaton, send, and if you're playing like roll out Azamina, right? You would send the trap card to the graveyard, and you immediately broke their board off 2 cards. So that's really nice, right? Play Mixusia. Can you create a deck for people that are too lazy to watch this? Yeah, I'll probably have a video on it closer to the release of Dark Magician Pharaoh Servant. This is more of a discussion stream. It was really fun playing you against Montreal. Next time I will open double evenly in Sphere. Oh, yeah, dude, this guy was raging at that. It's so funny. Oh my god. Dude, dude, I'm telling you right now, what's your name? Mac? He bitched about it for 6 hours on the car ride home. 6 hours. Dude, fucking double evenly Sphere? You gotta be joking me. That shit was so funny. What are we building here? DM branded? We're building DM. I think we're going to build DM Azamina. Oh, it's not really building. We're not building it. Well, I know that the thing says building. We're trying to solve a lot of problems DM has. And the way we're doing it is we're solving these problems via other engines. So in this case, we're talking about Azamina. We talked about Shining Sark. We talked a little bit about Rolad. I don't know if we're going to be playing branded. The reason why I don't love branded, and it's famous words by Aqua. Aqua's a homie of mine. He kind of was onto something when he said that Aqua was really adamant on the idea that branded is just very poor into combo heavy formats, and when branded is very successful in mid-range formats, which is why I think branded was very like okay into you know, the basic forms of Rolad. Pretty much like half a format ago is when branded was really, really good. What about DM Blitzkrieg? Dude, I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't read a Blitzkrieg. I know I went to YCS Montreal. I went into that tournament praying I didn't play a Blitzkrieg. Dude, I keep calling it Blitzkrieg. Oh my god. I thank God I didn't play that deck. I have no idea what those cards do. To this day, I haven't read them. DM has no problems beyond skill issue. Dude, flattered sense, you're spitting. Big facts, brother. Big facts. I saw the tactics video, Gohan. I thought you were there. I thought you weren't there. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, that's hilarious. So yeah. So what? Yeah. So we're talking about potentially the idea of playing Super Poly and Fallen the Virtuous, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 2 Super Poly targets, and then we are playing 11, 12, 13, 14. What can we cut to play 2 extra slots? Because if we can play Fallen the Virtuous, I think it's as simple as playing something in Albion and Ecclesia, which means we need to cut 1 card from this. You know, the easy answer is like probably Solar Riskaton. Chaos Angel's an easy answer. SP potentially it could be an answer to cut. I don't know. So like, because SP Fallen the Virtuous kind of does what SP does, just a little bit less cleanly in a way. Mind on air, have fun revealing your cards. Dude, I am so happy you said that. Who said that? Who said that? Who said mine on air? Let's piss Gohan off. Flattered Since, my goat. Hell yeah, we're signing the shit out of that. Signing the crap out of this. Yeah. Good luck, bozo. Let's go. Blitz locks you into summoning from hand, so only has half synergy. The most situational here might be Chaos Angel. The idea of Chaos Angel, I mentioned at the start of the stream. I'll mention at the start of the stream is the idea for Chaos Angel is if we have a line to Rod, because Rod is a 1-card village lock, right? We all know that. Rod is a one card village lock, and the idea, the reason why Chaos Angel is relatively mandatory is, let's say we're going through the motion of going Rod into Curtain, into DM, into Gaze, and then you banish the DM for Demod. Demod searches for this. You summon. Keep in mind, halfway through this combo, if your opponent summoned a monster off Curtain, right? A spellcaster, that pretty much nullifies what village is, right? Because they have a spellcaster to summon off the village. So you have a 7 and a 2, 7 and a 3. You can just make a Chaos Angel. Now, if you open more optimally, the Chaos Angel then banishes the spellcaster monster, by the way. If you open, let's say, the 2-card combo or a way to get an extra body on board, you can cut this, right? You can cut this and just play like something like an SP Little Knight. But the point of the SP Little Knight is you have to open the extra body. Right? And if you go into SP Little Knight, then you banish the spellcaster monster. The problem with opening SP Little Knight is you have to open the extra body, whereas Chaos Angel can do it without the extra body. So, I mean, that's kind of why we play Chaos Angel. I do agree that it's very situational. On top of this, it is situational, but it's also a fantastic breaker. Because let's say you get interrupted on like your Rod and your Curtain. You have a Pharaoh Servant in hand, reveal a wanted, summon back the Pharaoh Servant. Or if you even get interrupted on the Pharaoh Servant, and you go into Demon and all this stuff, and you have a floating Diabellstar, you summon Diabellstar, and then you make Diabellstar with Rod into Chaos Angel. Yeah, you could also do that, Alex. The problem is if we're, we are very hype. Like a lot of the comments are very hyper focused on 1-card lines to this. If you just open the 1 Rod, you have to banish the Dark Magician for a D-mod. But in a other scenario where you do have the extra card to utilize, whether it's the Diabellstar, yeah, you could just make a Dragoon with a vanilla DM and pop it. That's also very much an option. Doesn't it conflict? No, because you're making D-mod before you went to Chaos Angel. Rod is a 1-card Chaos Angel and Dragoon with a pop going second. That's also true, Aqua. Any spell pretty much, so you can get... Yeah, we've been I think Chaos Angel, like, I don't think it's mandatory. I really like it. I like its applications. We also had several comments saying, like, as I was comboing, I was looking over and with my eye, with my side eye, my lazy eye, I read the comments and there's some people saying stuff like, okay, what happens if you're going second? Like, you're not going to build this going second. Well, Chaos Angel is an answer for going second. So for going second, we have answers the likes of Chaos Angel, Solaris Catan, Master of Chaos, Dragoon, right? We have a lot of answers going second now. Where's SP as well? We have SP as well, right? And this is another reason why I feel like I kind of feel like this engine might be slightly redundant, despite it's having like a very high power level. I played a scrimmage against a good friend of mine yesterday, and he went full branded combo. I think I swear to God, this guy established maybe like 9 interactions, and we didn't win, but like we broke his board. I think if I had one more card in hand, I could have potentially beat him then, but I like the engine itself pushed through full branded board. He did end up smoking me after the, like, I wasn't able to kill him, and on the crackback he did he activated all his end phase triggers and he just obliterated me in turn 2. But assuming that, you know, the deck is able to play through that level of interruptions was very impressive. And I'm talking like he went Fallen of Albas to fuse away, things like that, right? Circle my goat. Circle, I'm playing in the side. So Circle, I'm playing in the side. I think I could probably be convinced to play one in the main. Absolutely. I think one in the side is perfectly fine though. Do you think the deck is worth playing with 1 Gaze and 1 Demon? Most of the better Dark Magician lists right now are playing 1 Gaze, 1 Demod. I don't think you need to play 2 Demod. I've been, you know, I'm very much on the 1 Demod train. I don't think you need to play more than 1 Demod. I like the idea of playing 2 Gaze, but you know, 1 Gaze is fine. Main, it's so good. You really think so, Alex? You really think so? You know what? I'll do it for you. Yeah, you could absolutely Yuda. I think you can Yuda, I think you could absolutely get away with 1-on-1. Play an extra copy of Soul Servant and utilize that as your second copy of Gaze. If we lose our 1 Demod, we just cry in the corner. If you lose the 1 Demod, yeah, you go game 2 and then you beat his ass in game 2. And then you beat his ass in game 3 again. That's what we do. Many games, played many games with it, or just shuffle it back with Ecclesia. That's another thing. Fallen the Virtuous, send Ecclesia effect, shuffle it back. Alex, are you playing pure though, or are you playing like a variant? Because I do enjoy the idea of something like opening this, playing into a board as a Mina. Yeah. If you don't mind, can you send me your list? I have a pretty decent skeleton that I'm very happy with, that I've been testing with a lot. This stream was more so to get a bunch of ideas and finalize a lot of these ideas and share some thoughts, maybe get people thinking about it. But yeah. So something I do like is like Pharaoh Servant, reveal, wanted, set, circle, activate circle, and now you immediately have a board breaker. Chainlink 1 DMod, Chainlink 2 Circle, right? That's the idea. Anyways, we've been streaming for a while. I think we had some great discussions. I think I know where I'm going to build the list. And next stream, we will finalize it. I think we'll go from there. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for hanging out. It was an absolute pleasure. Let's intermission this. Whoa, it's so dark. No one told me my... Dude, I look like that's some crazy mood lighting. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. It was an absolute pleasure to hang out with everyone here today. I had a blast. You guys are absolutely amazing. I can't wait for the next one. Can't wait to keep cooking. Thank you for everyone for the suggestions and the ideas. I love discussions like this. It truly makes my day. Love hearing when people are playing. It's so good. It's great to finally know that we have really good cards coming up, and I can't wait to see everyone get crazy results with these cards. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Till next time, have a great evening, have a great day wherever you are, and bye.